Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel, everyone. This is Rich making another video on XRP today, as usual. We're going to talk about XRP today, so I hope everyone is having a fantastic day wherever they are in the world. And this from Blue Hawk Legend is where I have to start. Poland uses QKD technology to showcase the first domestic quantum encrypted connection. I mentioned the push toward quantum computing the other day, and it's beginning to get traction. We see nation after nation doing this all of a sudden, as if there were also a quantum race going on. And it all boils down to XRP and the XRP ledger. And according to TechnoA, as a software engineer, I can state that, at least technically, changing code to prevent quantum hacking isn't that hard. It is similar to the Y2K patch in many respects. It is a methodical upgrade that is easy to implement after you identify the problem. This depends on shared cryptographic libraries for the majority of contemporary platforms. All that is required to implement quantum-resistant algorithms is to update validation layers, swap out new primitives, and make sure they work. It isn't too difficult. When asked about this in an interview a few years back, David Schwartz of Ripple affirmed that all that would be needed to move XRP to quantum-resistant cryptography would be a network amendment, a coordinated upgrade that was pushed through by the validators. Ripple hadn't done it yet when he was questioned, but it wasn't for a technical reason. It was just not yet urgent. However, given how quickly things appear to be developing for Bitcoin and Ethereum, it is now urgent. It's going to be a carnage during the transition. The explanation for why public keys are exposed by default in their architectures, those exposed public keys turn into ticking time bombs as soon as a transaction is completed and a quantum computer that can execute Shor's algorithm at scale is available. In addition, these systems are dispersed among thousands of miners, developers, and nodes. Many of them are unreachable, and you could lose money in addition to years of arguments and disagreements. Public keys are made available upon creation for all Bitcoin and the Ethereum wallets. Additionally, there's a problem with backward compatibility. In summary, he is stating that the XRP ledger is prepared for an upgrade. ETH and Bitcoin aren't. Due to the fact that they're layer 2 solutions that depend on layer 1 signature techniques, which are therefore vulnerable, it is still possible for L2S to inherit vulnerabilities from their base layers, even if they are upgraded with quantum-safe algorithms. This is similar to the Bitcoin transactions Matt Hamilton was discussing. Attempting to increase the number of transactions per second using Bitcoin beyond 7 transactions per second exposes the cryptocurrency to vulnerabilities and hacking attempts. For this reason, some blockchains are seriously threatened by quantum computers. Fortunately, XRP will be prepared. Do you really believe that when this occurs, XRP will suddenly begin transferring global funds and that we won't still need to worry about quantum computing? Not at all. If that were the case, no one would ever use XRP. XRP is now accepted for the purchase of real estate in Japan by Open House, a well-known Japanese real estate company. In addition, they take Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and Solana. All of a sudden, though, everyone wants to accept XRP. We just saw a man in Utah use XRP to purchase a car after Trump was elected. I'm not even going to sell this XRP, the dealer added. I'm going to keep it in my possession. That man is going to profit greatly from that XRP. However, since we're already on that route, you will someday be using cryptocurrency to purchase everything. Additionally, if you're not purchasing it with cryptocurrency, you will be doing so with the passive income you receive from it, as it will also be pouring in. I don't get why everyone is in such a rush to cash out during this run because of this. We've gotten too close. I would be discussing with you when to pay out your XRP if we were back in 2021, you know? The price of XRP is now being driven by institutional adoption, regulations, and utility. Therefore, it will now be more crucial to avoid selling your complete luggage. And xrp relief is the source of this. This was an excellent post. In my opinion, this run is emulating the 2017-2018 run and will begin in April. We ran 64,000% up that run. The originals will cherish the memories. In less than 9 months, we went from 0.6 to $3.84. Keep in mind that was only a speculative run. This is the crucial moment. We have $1,600 XRP in December and January if we continue on the same trajectory. But wait, this is where things improve. Better indeed. Imagine, therefore, that 2017 and 2018 were fueled by supply shock, FOMO, and utility. I'm going to stop there, I guess. Good or negative outcomes are possible, but I believe things will remain good until the first quarter, which is likely to occur in February or March of 2026. Here's the problem, though. In 2025, there will be a surge. Additionally, you must turn a profit in 2025 in order to advance to the first quarter of 2026. That is perfectly acceptable, but I would never, ever sell my whole bag. XRP's value will only increase in the future. The digital age is upon us. We will never again be able to operate under $1. From here, it's only going to get better. Yes, we could see a decline of nearly $2. However, you can see how quickly XRP is now recovering. It has changed since our holdings in 2022, 2023, and even 2024. Most of 2024, that is. It took a long time for XRP to bounce back after each dip. However, it is no longer the case. We're getting better in a day or two now. Additionally, the XRP or 20/30 cent movements, we no longer see half a cent every day, for example. By 2026, utility may also be fully operational. I notice a lot of other individuals stating the same thing. Therefore, I'm talking about January and February of the following year. It's going to be a fantastic run-up in 2025. However, we might witness a significant turning point at the start of next year. We're not entirely sure. Although no one can say for sure, I would most certainly not want to be among those who sold their entire bag just to come to regret it. Boom. Activity on the XRP network is booming, with about 627,000 active addresses, the most since April 2023. There is a surge of new investors. That's something else that's happening during this run, you know. New funding is beginning to enter this market. Additionally, more cryptocurrency investors are constantly entering this market. This time around, there are a lot more holders than there were in 2017, 2018, and the institutions weren't even there. Therefore, the fact that ETFs will eventually go live is